Welcome back. Right now, we have the opportunity to meet Anmol Singh. He is the co-founder of Live Traders. Anmol, thanks for joining us on Mountain Connections.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to chatting with you.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about your experience and learning from you and getting inspired both for business and professionally and personally, all the things. So tell me more about your experience and about Live Traders.
Sure. So currently, I trade the stocks and currency markets for a living. And then in 2015, me and my partner, who was actually my mentor, we teamed up and we started livetraders.com, where we do the same thing. We teach other people how to trade the markets, how to get involved with that, and how they themselves can take control of their finances and not having to trust like a third party.
So I'd love to hear about your background growing up. Was this something you always saw yourself doing? Were you always interested in money and finances in the market?
I would, not in the beginning. In the beginning, my main focus was out of college was to, I always wanted to get into finance, but I never really thought I'd be a trader. I thought it'd be more of a job role. But then I kind of fell into it, to be honest, and I found a mentor. He took me under his wing, and the best part about it was I could sit next to him and learn the craft. So as I learned, I got more curious about it, and then that ignited the passion in me to learn more about that. And it's a challenge every day. Every day is different, and I love that. No work day is the same. Every day is a little bit different, and I think that's what I like about what I do.
And Live Traders is the #1 trading education firm. So, did your education from when you decided to go into this business, did that really lead to you deciding to teach others?
Absolutely, because I think one of the things that was lacking was the ability for people to see somebody do it themselves, right? Because it's one thing to learn something in a lecture or a course, but then sitting next to somebody and actually watching them do it in real time, I think that's where the learning comes in. So for me, I took everything that I learned and try to compile it so that how best people will be able to learn. So for me, I compiled all the learning lessons, the good and the bad, and I try to show everybody the full transparency so that way they can learn more effectively. So I took what worked on me as when I was learning, and I packaged it all together into something that everybody else can learn from as well.
And not only that, you also focus on psychological and behavioral issues as relates to trading in the market. I'd love to hear more about that.
Sure. So I think trading, most people don't fully understand, but it's 90% it's psychology. It's your mindset. Because think about it. If you're in a trade and the stock's going against you, a lot of people, some people say I lost a lot of money in stocks. Well, that's because you kept holding something that was going down. So it's all mindset. So we teach people how, hey, take your small loss. Don't let it turn into a bigger one. And then you learn how to navigate the markets with some discipline. So you have a plan, pre-planned exits of where you're going to get out of a stock, where you're going to get in. So that, eliminates the thinking process and your brain because, human hormones like dopamine, serotonin, they get released when you're trading too. So you have to learn how to control the chemicals, imbalance in your brain while you're actually trading.
It's so true. It's very psychological. And how do you balance that? How do you not have a heart attack when you lose a lot of money at the very beginning? How do you control that and able to down the road make money and be able to ride those waves, so to say, of the stock market? How do you teach people to handle that?
Right. I think it comes over time. So what we do is we put our students on what's called a simulator account, which everything is real, the markets are real, stocks are real, the prices are real, but the money's not real. So I get them to make all the mistakes that they want in a simulated demo account with, virtual money. When they get good at it, consistently making money with virtual dollars, that's when we ask them to go live. So they always already figure out their issues, when they're on a demo account, so that when they actually trade real money, they're fully prepared mentally and physically to get into the markets because it's a competitive business.
And you're able to relate these messages and the things that you're taught throughout learning how to navigate the market to real life situations as well.
Absolutely. It's very important to realize not only the market situations, but also what's going on in your head. Sometimes we're not thinking clearly, we're making poor trading decisions, or we're making decisions based out of fear or greed. So number one thing is, our program teaches it how to control fear and greed so you can make objective decisions and not make in the moment emotional decisions that you're going to be regretting later down the line.
The psychology of the market, it is fascinating, but I want to make sure to also emphasize the many other things that you do. You've written some books, you're involved in the real estate market. Tell me more about other things that you have going on.
Sure. So, when I was coaching traders all across the world about like psychology, I used to get hired as a consultant to go out there and speak about psychology, discipline, how to cultivate the mindset. So I was started to think that all those concepts that I'm teaching are really common sense. And it's not just trading. You could apply that to any area of your life, business, productivity, motivation, relationships. So that's when I compiled all of my learning that I got and things that have helped me in my journey of success and in business. And I put it in a book format called Prepping for Success, 10 Keys for Making It in Life. So there I distilled everything that I've learned into 10 keys. It's a very short book. And then my main aim for the book was for people to actually read it and not just buy it like the tens of others of book they probably have sitting in your bookshelf. So 10 keys and all actionable steps. Every chapter of the book ends with, before you move on to the next chapter, here are 5 things I want you to do. So because I want people to actually take action and not just have this intellectual knowledge of reading a book and then they don't act on it.
And you also very much emphasize the dedication, education, and persistence.
I mean, 100%. Persistence is the most important characteristic I feel in any area of your life. Again, be it business, be it trading, be it relationships. Persistence, is a very important characteristic you need to have. You need to have the mindset of keep going, never giving up, and more importantly, not looking back at your past mistakes or past regrets, but rather focusing on what you're creating, what your future is. And that's what my whole goal is about: persistence, keep going, keep moving forward.
And Anmol, what's next for you? What are some of your future goals, very near or even very far away?
My future goals, I'm working on my hedge fund, but hopefully at the end of next year, I should have that up and running. So that's been my priority right now, is to get that launched up. Recent events obviously threw those plans a little bit forward, but still working on that. That's my goal. And my goal also is to have, many students that have seen success. I have a few students that are now running their own money management firms, hedge funds. They're doing really well. And I want to have more of the students so that I could, not only continue what I teach, our teachings, but also to distill the correct trading habits in people and not the fear and greed based methodologies.
Anmol, how can we follow you and find out more about what you're doing and about live traders?
Sure. So I think the best way would be, if anybody's actually serious about learning how to trade, or maybe they're just curious, would be to go on to our website, livetraders.com, where they can find a lot more information and also book a strategy call with someone from my team. But as far as getting in touch with me, social media, Instagram and Twitter are the best ways. My handles on those are Delta90. It's DELTANINETY, and that's where people can, stay in touch with me and see what I'm going on and see my progress.
Well, Anmol, it's been an honor talking with you. I feel inspired learning more about what you do, your background, and some of your wisdom. We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us here on Park City Television.
Sure. Thanks for having me. It was lovely chatting with you.
All right, we have more coming up right after this. Stay with us.